Yeah, not one of my better fates. Daniel, I usually tell my guests that come on who don't already know, I've been doing a little bit of work as a DJ. Kelvin Harris, David Guetta, some of those cats from Ibiza have been showing me the ropes a little bit. And I took a couple weeks off of doing the fade, and here I am back to just kind of like an underground Madison club level DJ. So just it's fine. I appreciate you working with me on this. Well, welcome to the Scary Alvarez podcast, which has already lasted almost as long as a Big Ten basketball official reviewing an obvious call on replay in the last minute of a game. I'm your host, Scary Alvarez, Wine Island Enjoyer, Cherry Wine Destroyer, Jake's Grandpa, and Cindy's Plus One when she'll have me. And today is a very special episode as we turn our attention back to Wisconsin basketball. And I'm excited to welcome on the first Badger Hoops recruit since we did a show with some of the guys last August. Freshman Daniel Freitag. Welcome aboard, Daniel.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, and just a reminder, speak loudly and forcefully. Sometimes it has a hard time picking it up. I pretend I'm Greg Gard talking to someone about how much he loves the transfer portal.
Oh, that was a good one. I like it. I got you.
Yeah, I appreciate it. There it is. There it is. Yeah, I have a writer, Joe Ferguson, my grandson. So I know that some people mess up the name and say Freitag. That's probably happened a few times. In Wisconsin, Freitag is what we know as what happens for 2 hours every time Brett Bielema goes to Culver's. So, I'm not sure if you know Brett. He's the football coach down in Illinois, formerly of the Badgers.
Not familiar. Now I am.
Okay. Okay. We cast a pretty big shadow. So, I didn't know if you know you up there. Well, anyway,
good.
let's start things off. I give a little bit of background. Mr. Freitag is a very, very good basketball player from the Twin Cities area, signed with the Wisconsin Badgers, and is going to be joining us in the fall to play for Greg Gard's squad. With that kind of setting the stage, tell us a little bit about yourself. I mean, obviously, we'll get into specifics as this goes along, but just tell my audience of millions a few things they should know about you before we get started.
I'm Daniel Freitag. I'm from Bloomington, Minnesota. And I went to the Wisconsin camp freshman year going into sophomore year where I got offered, and I've been committed since June of last year, 2023. So.
Okay, and you play basketball. What basketball? I know you had moved around a little bit in some of your time. What was your program last year that you played for?
I played for Bloomington Jefferson in Bloomington, Minnesota, and then committed to play out in California, but decided not to semi last minute. So I never made it out there, but decided not to go. And now I'm at Breck School in Golden Valley.
Okay, gotcha. And I presume your all season has wrapped up. How'd that go for you?
31-1. Went pretty well.
Okay. I'm hoping that one wasn't the last one. Is that you got the title?
It wasn't. It wasn't.
Okay.
Fluke game. We had our second best player injured, but now we got the championship.
Congratulations. That's good to have. I mean, people sometimes, may thumb their nose a little bit at, a high school title, but I know just from watching hoops in Wisconsin how big a deal the high school stuff actually is. And, that's got to be euphoric and thrilling to win a title. What'd that feel like?
It felt amazing. I think it felt best doing it with my friends. I had a really good connection with those guys. So winning a state championship is probably pretty cool, but winning it with your friends is really, really cool. So
that's awesome. Yeah, one of my first, staffs when I started at Wisconsin in 1990 as the football coach, I had a lot of former buddies on that staff, and we all worked hard, we played hard too, and it was just a real good vibe.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, you know how that is. So I know this because I watch film, of course, of everyone, both football and basketball film, of everyone who comes on this show. But not everyone who's listened to the podcast is as astute as I am. So, tell the Wisconsin fans that are tuning in a little bit about your basketball game and why they should be excited to watch you play this fall and onward.
I think my basketball game includes a good amount of fundamentals to flash. I think that ratio is pretty solid. I think I could do a little bit of everything, but I think I can I have the potential to make some big plays to kind of just get you on your feet. So I think you have a lot to be excited for.
Yeah, absolutely. So a little bit like my grandson Jake Ferguson, who's a tight end for the Dallas Cowboys. He played for the Madison Memorial Spartans here in town, and part of what made his game so he ended up obviously playing football, but what made his game so flashy and valuable was he could cook you from the outside, and if you put too much on that, he can cook you on the inside. And if you don't want those, he can just hit the mid range game. And I know from watching your highlights that you have all three levels covered, and that's got to be a huge advantage for someone coming in as a point guard.
Absolutely. I think I don't think I know I take pride in those being able to score at all three. But with you saying you can kind of he could cook you from the outside, mid range, and inside. I think I have a little bit of the same, but I think I can I don't want to say I can cook you, but I kind of just take pride in the I can cook you with fundamentals or flash kind of.
Yeah, no, don't. I love hearing that. Do not apologize for having confidence in yourself. I certainly never have. If you don't think that Daniel Freitag is the best player, who's going to think it? I mean, you gotta have that belief in yourself. Um, so I heard you mention you can finish at the rim. Let's talk vertical jump. I know. Obviously, you can. You're not like a 6'9" or 6'10" guy. You have a decent amount of height, but a lot of it's the springs you have. I have a 43-inch vertical. So, well, yeah. I mean, I don't look surprised. How does that compare to yours?
I never tested it, other than the pad, so not something I touch, but some pad. I don't know if those are legit or not, but I remember a 37 or along those lines back in sophomore year. And so that was probably when I was jumping my highest. Um, if you know verticals, if I'm 6'1", 6'2" at the time, and I could do it between the legs, or jump over somebody and do a between the legs dunk. You tell me what that vertical is looking like. So I don't have a number on it, but I know the list of dunks I could do.
Pretty high. Well, let me tell you something. I'm not trying to get in a match with you here, but if you've ever stationed Brett Bielema in the middle of it, we talked about Brett earlier, in the middle of the lane, and then taken off I'll be honest, one step inside the free throw line, and he's got two things, two big McDonald's sacks in his arms, and I jumped right over the guy. And I didn't put it between my legs and do that flashy stuff. This was the early 90s into the late 90s. Actually, I'm sorry, I stand corrected. This was 2003. I'll be very precise about this. So it's possible. I mean, I'm 77 now, so it's possible my vertical has gone down a little. But yeah, I can do it. We're just a couple guys who know what we're doing. But I remember watching the NBA dunk contest. I think it was about 2 months ago, and I'm
Yeah.
just sitting there laughing, like, what is this?
Yeah,
So,
no, I'm
yeah.
with you on that. I think the creativity is just I think every dunk's been done. But did you say Bradley Beal?
No, not Bradley Beal. No, no.
I thought you said you dunked on
Brett
Bradley Beal.
Bielema. Brett Bielema. Bielema.
I was like,
Let
wow.
me tell you something. If there are two people who could be less alike in terms of their physique and athleticism, it's probably Bradley Beal and Brett Bielema. But anyway, too
Yeah,
much Bielema on this. Let's move on.
yeah.
So I hear you about your game. You can do a lot of things. I love the confidence, and that's such an exciting thing for a point guard, especially because I know you also have the ability to distribute. As I was watching your film, and I'm sure your teammates love that. I mean, it's not. I mean, you scored a number of games over 40 points, and that speaks very well of you. But you're also a distributor, and that's obviously a hugely important thing in playing Big Ten basketball. Um, you know, I'll ask this, and I think I know the answer, but let me throw a hypothetical out. You're
Bet.
coming down, and you can do a cool, windmill dunk or something, or you make just an absolute dime, like two-thirds court pass right into the hands of a small forward or something for an easy bucket. Which is more fun for you? Or are they both kind of the same sides of the same coin?
It probably wouldn't even take the 2/3 court. I think I'd rather hit just a normal assist than have a windmill dunk, to be honest.
Okay, I love it. So getting the assist. I do a fantasy basketball league, and for some reason, assists are 2 points, rebounds are only 1 point, and a basket's 2 points. So assists are super valuable. So I think although in a very different context, I'm picking up on what you're putting down there.
Oh, yeah, and
Um,
it's not even about the assist for myself. I just so if you watch any dunk of mine or anything along those lines, I'm not getting super hype, but if you watch, one of my teammates dunks, I think that's when I'm like kind of getting my like most excited. It's just something about somebody else like kind of dunking or scoring or something along those lines that kind of like I don't want to say gets me going, but it does a little bit more for me than if I score.
Well, that's cool, and he'll fit in well. I mean, I'm sure you've watched a lot of Badger tape and seen not only the guys on the court but on the bench, and it's a real kind of community feel as far as like one dude does something cool, the other guys get super hyped about it, and I feel like it's genuine. And I
Mhm.
always feel like in the '80s, you would have had to be. It was like a punishment if you had to after you came out of a game or get taken out for a fight or foul trouble. You have to go down the entire bench, even the guys who never play, and give them high fives and stuff. I feel like these kids like each other. I mean, that's got to be a good thing to do. So that's cool to hear. Um, I'm aware. Obviously, you told me that you've grown up in Minnesota in the Twin Cities your whole life. What has it been like uh, to grow up a huge Wisconsin fan, like all the other basketball players up in the Minneapolis area?
That's real. I actually, I don't know if I grew up a Wisconsin fan, but I grew up a Packer fan and still am. So it's definitely been, I've definitely got some hate for that all my life. And then I definitely got a good amount of hate for going to the Badgers as well, pretty recently. So
You're a Packer fan living in Minneapolis. That might sound strange. You got someone checking you there. That might
no,
sound
no, I'm in my grandfather's basement, and he's who introduced me to the Packers. So I was looking for some Packers stuff, but doesn't seem like there's any down here.
He's a good man. He's a good man. Well, maybe we can have you do some juggling. I know you on lockdown you did some of that earlier last year. Yeah, so you're a Packer fan living in Minneapolis. Wow, that's got
Yeah.
to be a pretty cool flex because that team never wins anything. There, the Vikings are terrible.
They've gotten better recently, but I'm with you. It's been pretty awesome being a Packer fan up until Rodgers left.
Yeah, well, I'd say this: the Vikings have the same number of Super Bowl titles as teams who are going to be expansion teams someday. Have right now. That's
That's
where
fair.
we are. So it's kind of fun.
I'm with you.
Okay, it's got the draft coming up tomorrow. You have any as a Packer fan? Do you have anyone? Do you have your eye on the first round? Any first rounders you're looking at?
Um, I didn't even know it was tomorrow, to be honest. But is it like Cooper DeJean or something like that?
Yeah, that's that Iowa kid
Iowa guy.
who a lot of people like. See him as a safety or a kind of a hybrid, a safety cornerback, kind of wherever you need him. I feel like either people are joking or he's not going to be there when the Packers draft. I feel like this is an offensive line draft, which is totally fine with me.
I don't know a ton. I just like him because I think I saw a tweet that there hasn't been a white cornerback since like 19 something, and I kind of want to see that white cornerback on our team. So
Hey, that works. Jason Sehorn, I think is maybe the dude that people are thinking of. That
oh,
played for the
really?
Giants. Yeah, real good dude.
Yeah.
Talented.
Yeah, I
Um,
just would love to make history with this white cornerback on the Packers.
yeah. Okay. We'll see. You can finally get him a chance. That's it. What an exciting time to be alive.
Indeed.
But yeah, I think they'll go to offensive line. Okay. So well, let me explore this a little more then. So football, college football. Um, if I say the name PJ Fleck, what does that mean to you? So this is a
Oh,
stern test.
I was thinking a one word response. He's
Oh,
cool.
we're gonna get to that later.
He's a very or like very. I'm trying to think of the word like hyped up. What's
Si-
the
silly,
silly? They're funny.
self-centered,
Oh my gosh, you're
me first, corny. I don't know. Are these not where you're going with it?
nah, not me. He was. I'm trying to think of what he was. Straightforward, I'd say. He was a straightforward guy.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, the good news is you're going to be in Madison soon. We can revisit this conversation and have an honest talk about PJ at some point in the future. It's I was gonna say, has it been weird living in a state without an NFL team? But we already went over that. Who's your favorite all-time Wisconsin basketball player? And that could be someone who's on the team now, but if it's or it could be someone from 1930. I don't know. I'm not sure how far back you go, but just a name that's been fun to watch or inspiring or both or just something else that makes you like them.
It's a good question. You said basketball, right?
Yeah, basketball.
I want to say Sam Decker just because he autographed that photo for me in fourth grade. That made me kind of aware of Wisconsin. But I'd have to say Sam Decker, to be honest. I don't remember watching a ton and being like, "Oh my god, Sam Decker's my GOAT," but I remember watching some of it just because, like because of that autograph, like, I became aware of him in the Badgers, and I don't know, he's kinda been not in the back of my mind, no diddy, but he, kinda just been there since 4th grade, so I'll say Sam Decker.
Feel that, and I will say this: whether or not I won't explore too much, whether you're how much of you're a Wisconsin fan you were at the time, but you in 2015, that had to be just as a fan of basketball. He's sort of crushing to see Wisconsin lose that was America's team to lose to Duke in that championship game. Just what a horrible moment for sports.
You know, I might get hate for it, but was Tyus Jones on that team?
Yeah, I think
On that
so.
Duke team? I think I was a Tyus Jones fan, so I might not have been heartbroken at the time. I am now, though.
But you weren't a Grayson Allen fan, right? I mean, so
That's a good
that's enough. Yeah.
that's good. No, I wasn't a fan back then.
Or Justice Winslow. Okay, fine, fine. Justice touched it, by the way. You're gonna. I'm not sure. It sounds weird with no context, but Justice touched it. That means something at Wisconsin. I don't have to give you the context for that. It's G rated. It's horrible.
That's funny.
Anyway, so this is what I think a lot of fans are wondering about. Is off seasons are tricky, and I know we're all looking forward to the fall and having a really fun basketball season, a competitive basketball season, and for the Badgers. I'm kind of getting into the decision making process. Obviously, you were a highly recruited player. Um, what ultimately sold you on Wisconsin? I know you've alluded to some things, going to the camp as a freshman and things like that. But what was it that you could have gone a lot of places? Why Madison?
Madison is somewhere well, guard is someone that never made me feel, like, rushed to make a decision. He never made me feel like he was trying to, like, sell himself to me. He was kinda just always being genuine and very like, it didn't feel like I was being recruited. It felt like, "We really want you, and we'd love to have you," but it never no, like, messages or, like, visits ever felt like this is all like an act just to get me to come. Like it very much felt genuine, and that's why like even after I've committed, I don't think a thing has changed between Guard and I because it was always genuine from the start. And I don't know if he had confidence he was going to land me, but it felt like he did. And I mean, he never seemed worried about landing me or not. And I mean, that's kind of what I was looking for.
Gotcha. Yeah, I appreciate that. And it's I don't think it's a big secret. That's a theme I've heard from other recruits is that coach is a straight shooter. You know where you stand with them.
Mhm.
And I think we're adults in the room here. That's not going to do it for every kid. There are kids who
Mhm.
that doesn't matter to, that are sold on flashier things and things like that, and that's their journey. But it's cool to hear they had that connection with them, and it's exciting that that's the way it is.
Absolutely.
Um, so I've done a bit of football coaching, and it's possible I'm a sleeper agent right now for Luke Fickle. Tell me about your football career.
I started playing football when I started playing basketball, just as early as possible. And I actually liked football growing up more than basketball. And then I began getting recruited sophomore year, despite not getting a season because I broke my collarbone in the first game and ended up with a few offers from a few places.
Gotcha. And football. I don't think this is a secret to anyone who's listening. I mean, basketball can take its toll on your body too, and there's no question about it is a rough sport. A lot of running. You can take ankles and knees and things like that. Football is a little bit different as far as the punishment you take. Correct me if I'm wrong. You're a quarterback.
Kind of just everything. I was
Okay.
a receiver, quarterback, corner, safety, running back.
Okay. Uh, that sounds like a good skill, a good skill set for potential. I will say this. Jokes aside, I'm glad you did basketball. I think I think it's although I love football, they got their thing and we got our thing, and excited to see you on the court.
Thank you.
Um, we talked about Madison a little bit, but I think it's the best city in the world. You live in a place, sports notwithstanding, that is also a very cool city. I mean, I have no hate for Minneapolis. I think it's a world class city, one of the best cities in the Midwest. But I love Madison, and I think, although you haven't lived there yet, I think you're probably going to love it too. What is it about Madison, the city, as opposed to just the coaches and the college and things like that made an impression on you?
I kind of like the vibes. I kind of like how I don't want to say versatile it is. Like I know days that I'm trying to just chill or whatever. Like there's definitely places to go to just chill, and then if I wanted to, I don't. But if I wanted some like big city, like it could have that vibe as well. So I like the versatility of it, and then I like the people. I know a few people going to Madison this year, and every time I've been there, I've enjoyed the people there. So I kind of just like the people. It's very beautiful though.
It's cool, and then and also, I mean, in the general student population there, I know because we have the reciprocity. There's a lot of Minnesota kids there, or ex-Minnesota people, and certainly on the team there are as well. So you'll have a few. I'm not sure if do you know any of these guys on the. Obviously, they're coming in with another Minneapolis area player in Robeson, but do you have any sort of like friendship or with any of the like Crowell or some of these guys?
Specifically on the basketball team, you're asking
Yeah,
about?
yeah,
Um, I was pretty cool with Gus Alden, so I hate to see him go. Um,
yeah.
Me and
He seemed
AJ
like a
were
great kid.
cool. We played 1v1 over the summer and things of that nature, which was fun. He was very open to, I don't want to say helping, but just like working out with me and things like that. So I really enjoyed him. Pause. And then uh Chucky was a good friend of mine. We were just on the phone earlier. Kind of just everybody. I think on the current team, I guess I listed all transfers. I'm trying to think of who we have left.
Well, it's a great opportunity to make new friends at a new
Yeah,
school, as it
right.
always is when it turns anyways. But there's some from just my experience. There's some really good dudes on that team. And I think you'll run right in.
Yeah.
Um, you seem like the kind of guy who may have already taken a peek at the schedule for next season. Other than the fact there are rivalry games that are every year, like Marquette, and we're going to play other teams. Is there a game or games you're looking forward to more than others for the Badgers this upcoming season?
You said this is the schedule out?
No, and maybe it isn't. I'm sorry. I wasn't supposed to tell anyone. They
Yeah.
always run it on me first, and I
Um,
scratch a few things and maybe scratch a Michigan State game off if I don't want to play there.
yeah. I think because doesn't the Big Ten expand? Like, don't we play all those new teams as well next year?
Yeah. And I don't. I'll be brutally honest with you. I usually know everything. For some reason, I don't know this, but I do think there is at least one game against each of the Pac-12 new admittees,
That's what I
uh,
thought.
the freshman class of the Big Ten, as we're calling them. Um, well, I mean, is maybe that's your answer. Maybe it's if you get a chance to go out to Eugene or play a game at Pauley Pavilion, that might be a kind of a fun experience just as a freshman.
Yeah, I mean, I was excited to kind of play all of those new coming teams. USC, I wanted to play against Bronny, and then Washington, I wanted to play against the Kashmir Chavis. He's from Minnesota. Gophers, I want to play against Isaac Asuma. Um, I think Illinois has Kylan Boswell. I want to play against him. Uh, I would want Kansas on the schedule for AJ, and then wherever Chucky's going, I would want that on the schedule. I kind of want to just play players. I don't really care about the teams. I definitely have my list of players I want to play against.
Yeah, well, I know you've obviously named a number of guys that you've gotten to know for various reasons, but I know that the AAU circuit up in Minneapolis is a really robust one. Uh, Not just college guys, but NBA guys like Holmgren, and it's just it's got to be a pretty cool environment to grow up playing in.
Almost not. I liked the guys on my squad, and the rest of them I kind of just want to beat them. Like it'd be cool to play. I think the only guys I wasn't talking about there was like Chucky and AJ. I think I just want to play them because they're my guys. But the rest, I just want to play them to kind of just go at them.
Good, love it, love the competitiveness. I mean, and then after the game, you give them a high five and say good game. But in between those lines for 40 minutes, it's war. So that's good.
Probably war
So,
after the game as well. I'm gonna be
oh,
honest.
okay, all right. I love it, man. I love it. Uh, does the name Aug Hall mean anything to you?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not familiar.
Okay, it's a dorm on Wisconsin's campus. Just stay away from it. Um, who's your favorite NBA player?
Anthony Edwards.
Okay, so you're a T-Wolves fan?
Nah, I don't even like NBA basketball, to be honest. I just like Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, he's a really. I knew Anthony as more of an actor uh, when he was in that movie, and I later learned that he was a basketball player too. I guess he took that up after he became an actor, but that's it's pretty exciting. And you know, I will say I'm kind of a bit of a Bo Cruz guy, and I wasn't sure how that was all going to shake out in that movie, but it was fine, and it was
That's
fun.
crazy
But
you say that. I watched that movie last night.
yeah, it's great. Did you like it?
Yeah, it's like my fourth time watching it.
Okay. You said I just watched it last night. So it's becoming it's like your version of like Rudy for some people at
Yeah.
Notre Dame. Would think, yeah, like Notre Dame fans who think they're going to win a national title again someday. Watch Rudy,
Oh, they
even
watch
though they're
Rudy
not.
all the time. When I was on a visit there for football, we talked about Rudy probably half the visit with everyone. Everyone loves Rudy over there.
Yeah, they do like it. It's tricky with the recruit though, because it's like, hey, you're not gonna be Rudy. Maybe you're one of the guys who could turn his letter jacket in, so the kid gets to play against SC for 3 minutes at the end of the year, or Georgia Tech, whatever that was. But yeah, I will say, I'm not sure if you knew this. I was a defensive coordinator back at pardon me, USC. Oh, that was close. Back at Notre Dame, won a national title there under Lou Holtz in 1988, the year before right, yeah, it was about a year before I came to Wisconsin to be the coach. Exciting,
Very,
huh?
yeah, very nice.
Legendary. I can tell how excited you are to talk to me. This is you're very cool about it, but you know, it's got to be fun for a kid to meet a legend.
Man,
Um, we're gonna play a word association game. We teased this earlier, and I'm gonna say a name, and I'm gonna ask what comes to mind immediately after I say these names. So it can be anything. It doesn't have to be one word. It could just be kind of what you think of.
so if you were to
Frank
say
Kaminsky.
like if you were to
Pardon
say
me?
like Greg Gard, like if
Yeah,
I first thing came to mind would be
first
like
thing comes to mind.
like
Yep. Okay,
okay.
Greg Gard. Greg
I was
Gard.
gonna say cool dude.
Okay. Frank Kaminsky.
Randomly good. I feel randomly good.
He was he was randomly good. He randomly gooded himself into a National Player of the Year Naismith Award. It's
I
amazing.
was yeah.
Your guy Decker helped him there a little bit, but Frank, I will say I'll betray my bias here a little bit. I'm a big Frank the Tank fan. It was just still 9 years later we're still talking about how we got cheated by Duke, but it's fine.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Hey, getting back to the vitally important word association game on the Scary Alvarez podcast. Jake Ferguson.
Why am I drawing a isn't that your uh what is it? Isn't he related to you? You just said that?
Grandson.
Yeah, grandson.
That's my grandson. But besides, well, that's the most important thing that he's in my bloodline. But what do you know? What does that ring a bell to you as far as what he does?
Uh I don't know why I'm thinking he's in the NFL. I swear he was like on a fantasy football team that I played against, but could be a different
Well, I'm
Ferguson.
sorry you lost. That must have been a terrible week. He is Travis Kelsey without Taylor Swift, basically. He's a big time tight end for the Dallas Cowboys, and just a great kid.
He's your grandson. I
He
don't
is my
doubt he's a
grandson.
good kid.
Oh, that's nice, Daniel. That's very kind of you. And the Cole Center.
Electric
How many games you been to?
in my life, shoot, probably like 4. I've been to a few of them. One this year, I think 2 last year, and one probably the year before that, if I had to guess.
Of the 4 games you've been to, which was the most fun, most memorable, and
Most
why?
recent one, we played against Purdue. We lost, but I it was just like I think 2 top 5 ranked teams
Yeah.
or like top 10 or something like that when we were like number 6. And
Oh yeah,
then
but it was actually a pretty good game, and it was a very evenly matched game, well officiated until the last minute.
I was gonna
And then
say last
anything
minute,
Wisconsin did, they could breathe next to what is his name?
Zach Edey.
Edie. They could breathe next to Edie from 17 feet away, and the official that's furthest away from it comes and does a call. Yeah, that was a rough one, but
let him run our guy over. Nothing.
Yeah, exactly. It's not fair, but we did get a little bit of revenge in the Big Ten tournament, which that game was really a lot of fun. Sadly, that was when the fun ran out, but that was it was good to see them make a little run in that tournament. And anyway, so what this is gonna we're gonna let you go. I know we got some stuff to do tonight, but I want you to rank these 3 things, and then we'll let you off.
Okay.
Okay. Best, most important to least important. You're not saying that any of them are not important, but it's a relative rank. Okay. 1, a free lifetime meal pass at Mickey's Dairy Bar in Madison, Wisconsin. Got that one down.
Yeah.
2, winning the Big Ten basketball title in 2025. And 3, being on this podcast with me right now. If you need hey Daniel, if you need a moment, and maybe you just want to do like number 2 and number 3, but let's hear it. John Blackwell and Nolan Winter both said the podcast was number 1. I wonder if they were trying to curry favor with me, like I was going to make sure they weren't in Aug Hall or something.
You said Blackwell and Gus said that?
No, not Gus. Blackwell and Nolan. They both picked. It's the same question. Yeah, I'm not saying like, it's okay if you don't want to think this is number 1. You've got to be your own guy.
Yeah. I'm just wondering what Gus said. What did Gus say?
He did not. Gus said, he said winning a Big Ten title, a free lifetime meal pass at Mickey's Dairy Bar, and I don't think he said in a distant third place being on the podcast, but he strongly implied it.
I feel I would say my ranking, I'd say the Big Ten title, and then this podcast, and then the Dairy Bar.
That's good. We'll call it a push. That's good stuff.
I wouldn't even give it a push, to be honest. I'd say.
Pardon me?
I'd say it's not even a push. I like their pancakes there, but I probably shouldn't have a lifetime supply of it.
Yeah, that's true. But you do run a lot, so get that hill when you hit the hill.
Oh,
it's gonna be fun.
Facts.
You know what the hill is. Yeah,
I am aware of the hill.
Oh boy. Okay. I once did the hill 167 times in a 27-minute span. Yeah, I know, but it shouldn't shock you. I was in a small limousine at the time, though, so I didn't actually run it. But that's another story. Great. Sense. Well, Daniel, thank you so much for jumping on. I know this must have been a thrill of a lifetime for you, but it was great to have you. And I think I speak for Wisconsin Badger fans everywhere that we're very excited to have you down in Madison this fall. And let's have a fun year on Wisconsin.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Big wins coming soon.